But first, in 2000 and 2004, to the angst of many Democrats, Ralph Nader ran for President of the United States as a third-party candidate. Will he run again this year? He's with us to announce his decision. Ralph Nader, welcome.
Thank you.
Will you run for president as an independent in 2008?
Let me put it in context to make it a little more palatable to people who have closed minds. 24% of the American people are satisfied with the state of the country, according to Gallup. That's about the lowest ranking ever. 61% think both major parties are failing, and according to Frank Lutz's poll, a Republican, 80% will consider voting for an independent this year. Now you take that framework of people feeling locked out, shut out, marginalized, disrespected, and you go from Iraq to Palestine, Israel, from Enron to Wall Street, from Katrina to the bungling of the Bush administration, to the complicity of the Democrats in not stopping him on the war, stopping him on the tax cuts, getting a decent energy bill through. And you have to ask yourself, as a citizen, should we elaborate the issues that the two are not talking about? And all the candidates, McCain, Obama, and Clinton, are against single-payer health insurance, full Medicare for all. I'm for it, as well as millions of Americans and 59% of the physicians in a forthcoming poll this April. People don't like a Pentagon waste, a bloated military budget, all the reports in the press and in the GAO reports. A wasteful defense is a weak defense. It takes away taxpayer money that can go to the necessities of the American people. That's off the table to Obama and Clinton and McCain. The issue of labor law reform, repealing the notorious Taft-Hartley Act that keeps workers who are now more defenseless than ever against corporate globalization from organizing to defend their interests. Cracking down on corporate crime. The media, the mainstream media, repeatedly indicating how trillions of dollars have been drained and fleeced and looted from millions of workers and investors who don't have many rights these days, and pensioners. You know, when you see the paralysis of the government, when you see Washington, D.C. be corporate-occupied territory, every department and agency controlled by overwhelming presence of corporate lobbyists, corporate executives in high government positions, turning the government against its own people, one feels an obligation, Tim, to try to open the doorways, to try to get better ballot access, to respect dissent in America in the terms of third parties and independent candidates, to recognize historically the great issues have come in our history against slavery and women's rights to vote and worker and farmer progressives through little parties that never won any national election. Dissent is the mother of ascent. And in that context, I have decided to run for president.
As you know, Ralph Nader, there will be Democrats all across the country who are going to find this very disturbing news. And they'll point again to 2000. This was the vote count. Al Gore winning the popular vote, but you got 2.7%, nearly 3 million votes in 2000. Then Florida. As you remember, George Bush won Florida by 537 votes. You got 97,488. Democrat after Democrat says, to this day, Ralph Nader, if your name had not been on that ballot, Al Gore would have carried Florida. Exit polls show he would have carried Nader voters 2-1. Gore would have been president and not George Bush. You, Ralph Nader, are responsible for what has happened in the last 7 years.